Dory 1, this is Fire Team Delta. Dad's coming home.
Welcome to the Military Veteran Dad Podcast, where it is our mission to bring every dad home. I am your host, Ben Killoy. I'm a United States Marine veteran, husband, and a father. We will bring authentic conversations to inspire action in your life so we can close the gap between the dad you are today and the dad you want to be tomorrow. This is the Military Veteran Dad Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Fatherhood Friday. Guys, it is the first week of December. Christmas is December 25th. It is 22 days away as the day of recording this. So not to scare you too much, but I want to take a little bit of your time today. I'm going to try to keep this short. I'm trying to get better at concising and delivering a better 1-2 punch with my message in a shorter amount of time because I value the time that you give me to bring and to listen to these messages each Friday. So today, I want to bring you a lesson that began in 2018. Now, this lesson didn't begin for me in 2018. It began when Nextflix released the movie Christmas Chronicles. Now, I'm going to try my best not to give too many spoiler alerts away with this podcast episode. So if you haven't watched Christmas Chronicles on Netflix and you have a Netflix account, go out there and watch it. And now you can come back and listen to this after you've watched it, or I will, like I said, I'm going to try. I'm going to get very finite on the exact point and ignore the rest of the stuff. So I'm going to get into the big gift that this movie gave me, because it's not about the movie itself. The movie is a really good movie, and I highly recommend it for your kids. My kids absolutely love it. It's something they just came out with, the Christmas Chronicles 2 right before Thanksgiving, and so we watched that probably like 4 or 5 times already. So it's a great new Christmas tradition in our family to watch Christmas Chronicles. Now, I want to preface this movie that there's a few movies out there that are Christmas movies that I cry every time I watch them. Now, Christmas Chronicles, I did not have a podcast when that movie came out. And so the first time I saw it like everybody else. But then last year, I saw it in a completely different way, because I'd been podcasting for an entire year and I had been digging into the words and emotions and the feelings of dads and what it really means for us to come home and what it really means to be a dad to our kids. And so there is a scene in this movie, and without, again, not giving it away, the big backdrop to this movie is that there is a troubled teenager in this movie, and his dad died fighting a fighter trying to save someone in that fire. And he is very hurt, and there is deep pain in his heart that his dad was always out there saving everybody else. But where is he now when I need him the most? And that is a deep question that's in this kid's heart. And there was a lot of familiarity with that question with a military dad that didn't come home. Like, how dare he go out there, fight for our country, die, and now I need him and he's not there? Like, what good is you're fighting that country's battle if you're not there to help me fight my own? These are hard questions that this teenager is facing. And part of this movie is him really figuring out who he is and really healing this idea. And through the magic of Santa, there is a moment in this movie where this boy has to really not man up, but he has to step up to the plate to get and save Christmas. Now, in this moment, he's super unsure of himself. He doesn't have confidence. He's telling Santa, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And Santa, being Santa that he is, steps in and says, you've had everything inside you that you've always needed. You just needed to believe it yourself. And right at the next line, he goes, and your father knew it as well. And he says, a pierce always sees it through, which is on a pocket knife that this boy carries around that his dad gave him. And those words of belief, the family motto of a pierce sees it through, I'm getting goosebumps just retelling the story. That moment redefined what I believe is my most important role and gift I give to my kids. Now, this is a very small moment, but to me, it is a primary driver of how I show up ever since really seeing this movie, is how do I gift the ability for my kids to believe in themselves, to not derive belief externally or need belief externally, because I'm not always going to be here. I need to be able to give them enough belief on the inside so that the way they can believe it before they can see it. And just like Santa, believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. And that comes through that belief. And to me, the best gift that we can continue to give our kids at Christmas and every other day of the year is how do we reinforce this belief that they are good enough, that they are enough. They have everything inside them already to do everything that they dream of in this world. That was something I did not have. I had a great dad and he did everything that he did with what he had. But I did not have that self-belief that I could go out into the world and do things. I always, and still to this day, it is something that still holds me back. I still struggle with the belief that I am enough. I'm not sure how many times I've mentioned this in the podcast, but in this particular episode, it's worth mentioning that back in January, I picked a 2020 word. This was something new to me. I had never done it before, and I'm like, I'm going to pick a word. Now, this is when I had a job. This was when my life was pretty much normal as it was been for the last 8 years. And my word was believe. Now, it was probably also benefited from watching Christmas Chronicles that same year and having the thought a little bit before then. But believe was one major word because what I believed and came truth to my heart was that I did not need another podcast to listen to. I did not need a book. I did not need one more thing in my life. I just needed the belief in myself that I've always had everything inside to do everything that I wanted. Now, we've been listening to this podcast for a long time. Fast forward through all the things that I've talked about in my life through 2020. Losing my job, redefining my life before COVID, redefining my life post-COVID, redefining my life in this fall year, redefining my life as a virtual teacher in this week that I'm recording this as well. All of this, the word belief is almost unbelievable that I picked that word because that word has tested me 100-fold this year of, Ben, do you really believe you can do it? Do you believe you can teach your 2 kids virtually and do everything else that you've been wanting to do? Do you believe you can keep everything together? And it continues to be that rock word. And so much of what you were waiting for, if you've been listening to this podcast and you've been liking the message and you've been applying some of the things we talk about, a lot of it won't stick until you truly believe you are capable of doing everything that you want in your life, to be the man that's connected to his wife, to be the man that's connected to his kids, to be the man that's connected to himself. Without all of that, believe is that key word. And so now focus on your kids. When can you take, what opportunities can you create in your life to reinforce this belief? What micro moments exist in the day where you could take your child aside and reinforce that you believe in them, that they can do more than they're capable of? I reminded my daughter, she's learning multiplication, and I've been checking multiplication problems left and right all day. And she's been doing really well, even though in the early bit, she was really struggling. And I reminded her, I was like, you're capable of more than you believe you are. That was a little micro moment of reinforcement. But that, again, that core belief that they have more inside them, they're better than they think they are, they're stronger than they think they are, and they can really go out in the world and do something. To me, that is the one word that I want my kid to go into in adulthood believing more than anything. Believing they are capable, loved, and able to do whatever they put their mind to. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. It's about 80% of the way through. They're getting ready to save Christmas. It's a moment on the sleigh. Slow down and really receive it, because I bawl my eyes out every time I really feel when Santa reignites the belief in that young boy that he has everything. And if you watch Christmas Chronicles 2, it pivots away from him a little bit because he has been that more capable man. And this next one is more about the daughter's journey and her journey to heal her heart as well. And it has the same magical belief at the end. It reinforces some of the same subtopics that both Christmas Chronicles reinforce, this idea of believing And if you watch the Santa Claus movies, they often say it as well. Believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. So guys, with that, I'm going to sign off. I'll talk to you guys again on Monday. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you get some break. I hope you don't have to be overwhelmed too much with Christmas shopping, and that in some way out there you find a place to go out, be dad, love being a dad, and believe you are capable of everything you dream of inside your heart and in your head. You just need to believe that you can come home.